Hi guys, welcome to this week's episode of Marketing Home, Marketing You. This week we're going to be talking about how to drive traffic to your community and specifically using lifestyle marketing. So I'm excited to dig in. I'm your host, I'm Barbara Savona, and every week I'm bringing you the latest in marketing, retention, and career development specifically for multifamily housing. And for those of you that don't know, this podcast is sponsored by Sprout Marketing. You can learn more about the marketing services there at watchyourbusinesssprout.com. All of the resources that we show here are brought to life inside of the Sprout membership. And for our podcast listeners, you can use the code POD for podcast, POD25, to receive 25% off of the lifetime of whatever membership you choose. So check it out at Watch Your Business Sprout. Okay, so what is lifestyle marketing? Well, one definition defines it this way. It's a marketing technique that positions the product, which would be our community, to possess ideals, aspirations, and aesthetics that our target audience identifies with. It means that brands marketed in this way are a way of life for their audience. So you guys might think about companies it is a company, but they become more like movements like CrossFit, where people really, their identity is tied up in that brand and it becomes a part of who they are. So the goal in what we're talking about today is how can we, through our content, through our marketing, position our communities as a lifestyle brand that resonates with our prospects and our residents. Now, to be very clear, we're not excluding anyone. With fair housing, we have to be very careful about that. Our marketing efforts do have to feel inclusive. So what's nice about that is in a community, there's going to be many different lifestyles that really bubble forth. When you have 200 or 300 people living at your community or more, obviously they're not all going to be into the same thing. But I will guarantee you will see some trends in terms of lifestyle. You could perhaps drive through a community at 6 or 6:30 in the evening, and you may notice that there's a ton of people out walking. Maybe it's young families with a baby in a stroller and other, single people jogging on the trails, and the fitness center is in use. That just by itself tells you that many in that community value a health-centric lifestyle. So what's important for us is to, one, notice what do people at our communities just organically like. And you can substitute fit lifestyle for many different things. So it might be a pet-centric type of a lifestyle where the pets are at the center of many people's lives. Or it might be that tech is really important. So there's a lot of different lifestyles. It's a culture of learning that people love hobbies within your community. And like I said, a lot of these are going to emerge. But when you can position your brand to support a lifestyle, when people can get on your website, they can get on your social media, and they can identify themselves there, that becomes really powerful marketing and retention. So what we're looking for is a place that we can really bring to life the lifestyles that are already organically happening. We don't want it to be too forced. And another thing is you don't want to market something that isn't happening. So I've seen a lot of communities market this fit-centric lifestyle, but beyond a fitness center, they're really not doing much of anything else. So I always say it's easier to embody something that is already naturally taking place. And a lot of times your tribe attracts your vibe. So what your team is into, what your residents are into. And by rotating some of these themes, again, you make sure that you're including everyone and you're also appealing to many, but they still have to be clearly outlined. So let's talk for a second we're going to use the fitness space because in addition to lifestyle marketing, it's also important to just use seasonality and what's on people's minds and kind of piggyback on that. So with the start of a new year, many people have goals of getting healthier. And so doing a fit lifestyle, if in fact you actually are living that, can be really powerful. So how are a couple ways that you can do that? We're going to talk about a few different ways. And for that, I'm going to now minimize myself so that you guys can see my screen here. Let me put me in the corner. So Instagram has become such a powerhouse in really telling a story and selling a lifestyle. A lot of people, yes, they're going to look at your website, but I guarantee you they're going to look at your social media. And Instagram's a great way to paint the lifestyles that are happening at your community. So you can use the carousel feature. And the carousel feature allows you to have one kind of grab you image, and then they can swipe and see a lot more. So have an image that, like any of these that you see here in the Sprout membership, or that you maybe create yourself, that shows healthy living. And then as they scroll through, you can showcase different aspects. So that could be your walkability score, your bike score. If you have trails nearby, you could, shout those out. Your amenities that support this healthy lifestyle. If you're doing virtual fitness classes or healthy cooking classes, or you have guest experts come on, those are the kind of things that you want to showcase and highlight, especially on your social feed. What's nice about a social feed is that it also tells a story of how long has this really been the lifestyle of the community. So right now that we're in the midst of COVID, you might have some limitations with the type of events that you're hosting. But if somebody can scroll back and say, hey, back in the day, they used to do healthy breakfast here and there. They used to have these in-person fitness classes. They used to do all these different initiatives, and now they've modified. Then you really are living that healthy lifestyle. So when somebody's looking and they're saying, I identify myself as somebody that cares for my body, cares for my mind, and I want a community that supports that, then it goes beyond our homes just being a place to crash. And if 2020 has taught us anything, is that home has become so much more, right? So the more that our community helps encompass that lifestyle, the better. So Instagram carousels is a great place to showcase that. Another one is through the story features. So stories, you can input your personality a little bit more. We'll talk in a future episode about how to really put your heart into your Instagram stories. But what's nice is you can really sell the health-centric lifestyle without just talking about it. So you could potentially go and stand in front of one of the trails nearby. Let's say you've got a great hiking trail. You could wave to the camera and say, come with me, we're going to go, check out this trail. And then you can speed up the feature. I would shoot the video outside of Instagram stories, do like a time lapse, and then you can put it in Instagram stories and show, hey, that was like a 1 mile trail, or even just a short preview. It just shows people, again, very tangibly, without having to leave their house, they're able to see what the life is like at your community. And you can do that with all sorts of things. If you're going to make it a month-long theme, then you can show the different aspects, not just the trails around your community, but what about the different equipment? What about the different classes that you're hosting? What about, all the different things that make up a healthy lifestyle that you're promoting? So on social, those are just a couple of ways. And get really creative with the things that you talk about. If you know that a lot of people like to bike, talk about how a biking lifestyle is supported at your community, whether it's a bike shop that's down the road. It doesn't just have to be the actual trail. It can be all the things that make attaining this lifestyle a little bit easier. Same thing with most people that are into fitness are also into eating healthy. So if you've got great grocery stores nearby where eating healthy becomes super easy, you can highlight that. So, after you, work out in our fitness center, Whole Foods is just across the street, like literally 2 minutes away. And so you can pick up something at their, at their grab and go section. And a busy lifestyle doesn't mean it doesn't have to be a healthy one. So you guys get the picture. We're melding our brand with their lifestyle, and it's all becoming part of their identity. This is not just a marketing ploy. This really becomes a retention hack because it'll be harder for people. They say that people have a harder time breaking habits or breaking up with brands that they identify themselves with. So you think again about CrossFit, how hardcore people are about that are into that. Well, think about if our community can almost have like a following like that, because everything there is making reaching their goals easier. So I'm focused on fitness simply for the fact that I think it's a really great one for this time of the year. But if that's not the vibe of your community, see what else is underlying as a lifestyle and see how you can now make a monthly theme around that. And so a few other things that you can do. So here's some Instagram stories that you guys can see. Sprout members, you can always download this anytime that you want. If you are doing in-person marketing, obviously socially distance and being very careful, not only visiting, let's say, gyms, but what about, doctors' offices, leaving goodies for essential workers, diabetes centers, Weight Watchers centers, all sorts of things like that. A lot of people right now are really focusing on health, and it's all the things that are going to support that. So health looks very different. It's not just about going to the gym. Something else fun that I've shared many times over the years is calculating the calories burned running up and down the stairs to your second and third story units. You can remarket those as being Heart Smart units. If you burn, let's say, 35 calories going up and down the stairs, and you think that somebody will do that 3 times a day, that's 100 calories a day. So that over a month, over a year, what could that translate for somebody? So you could even say something like lose X number of pounds just by living on the second floor. And obviously you'd have a disclaimer, but you're really connecting the dots, and you're just showing how small changes can be really impactful for somebody over the years and over the months. So that's something fun to do. And then if you are doing tours, you can set up a mini model that has everything. So when they open the cupboards, it's the kind of healthy snacks that they would want to eat. You've got the yoga mat out. Maybe you position your 2-bedroom, 1-bath as, let's say you've got a ton of those, as a 1-bedroom with a health studio. So a lot of people that are not using the gyms now are really enjoying building up a place that they can work out, they can meditate, they can do yoga, they can do all sorts of different, their Peloton, but they want to do it in their apartment. So be conscious of that. Is that an upsell from somebody that maybe was going to go for a 1-bedroom, but has it in their budget to go for a 2-bedroom, so that now they can have their workspace, their home space, and their workout space all within their apartment community. So that's something to think about as well. You can also use, think about the things that you're giving away when you do marketing efforts. We want our collateral to match, right? So is it water bottles that are branded? Is it yoga mats that are branded? Is it, just get creative with the type of things that somebody, again, that resonates with that lifestyle would be like, that's a really cool move-in gift. Another idea is invite your prospects to these virtual classes. So you guys can see some of the events here that our members can customize some flyers. But when you're, following up with your prospects, and again, if that lifestyle, if you can see that that's important to them, you've got to ask those questions. Like, what do you love to do on the weekend? Why are you excited to move here? What kind of, goals do you have for the new year? Again, your style has to fit. But if it makes sense, include in the follow-up some of the things about being a health-centric community. So you could do post-tour goodie bags that have healthy snacks and healthy treats. You could even have a list of nearby parks, nearby trails, really helping amplify the fact that you are that backdrop for that healthy lifestyle, a list of current events that you're going to have coming up. And back to that, invite your prospects to attend those virtual fitness classes. Tell them, hey, if you want to get kind of a feel for our community, I invite you to join. We're doing Zumba this Friday, and we're doing, X this day, so that they can see that that you are embodying this lifestyle. And if it's something that they want, you're just making it one step easier because now it's part of their home life. So again, you can do that with goodie bags. You can do an old-fashioned snail mail where you send something with all those highlights in it. You can do an email with links to some of the trails. You can do an email that has some different, pictures of your fitness center. You can link to past events that you did that were focused on fitness and a healthy lifestyle. So you get the picture. You're just reselling that lifestyle over and over again. And then remind your residents too, when you're talking about referrals, I love carrying this theme all the way from outreach to follow-up to referrals. Remind them that, having an accountability buddy always makes fitness easier. So who would they love to have that they could just call that lives at the community to go for a walk or do an exercise class together? So one of my favorite campaigns that we put together is this kind of like a text message notification. And so this one says, I need some fresh air, want to go on a walk? So that's your friend. And you're like, same, swing by my apartment and we can go. All of that becomes easier when your friend, who's also your workout buddy, lives in the building next to you, right? So we're pushing referrals, but we're pushing referrals to build a community that they can have, like-minded friends nearby to help reach their goals. So those are just a few of the ways to really highlight a fit-friendly lifestyle. But the overarching theme that I want you guys to really focus on is, if that doesn't match, don't force it. Find out the lifestyle things that are already happening. What identities do your residents have? I'm sure many of you have children at your community, so maybe it's hosting regular hobbies and showing how, you're a community that helps facilitate virtual classes on learning how to craft or learning how to do a trivia game, or, the type of community that really brings community together. So you've got to do a little research and pay attention to your audience, talk about it with your team, see what makes sense for you all, and then really bring it to life. But remember, we want brands that are enduring and endearing. And brands that are endearing, we have to identify with that brand. So if you're just a cold building with a list of amenities, it's not going to resonate. So make sure that if I'm a prospect and I'm landing on your website, does the lifestyle imagery, can I see myself there? Do the events, do they speak to me? I might never attend them, but do I think I want to attend them? Do those seem like the kind of things I am interested in? A lot of times people are making those decisions on aspirations of who they want to be. So remember that your brand can really help them reach goals. And when you do, you're not only marketing, but you're really creating a strong bond for that retention piece later. So Sprout members, this is Daily Dose. Let me give you double Daily Dose 720. You've got everything to do the carousel. You've got everything to do the Instagram stories, your outreach marketing, your follow-up. We even have a section of stock photography that showcases a health-centric lifestyle, and of course referrals around this theme. In addition to that, we have so many just daily fitness challenges that you can post on social media. We have all sorts of different ideas for outreach and mini models. So just go in and browse, search healthy lifestyle, fitness, all of those things, and it'll pull up everything you need. And if you're not a Sprout member and you'd love these resources, just go to watchyourbusinesssprout.com. Don't forget to use that code POD25. Guys, this has been a ton of fun. I can't wait to see y'all next week, where we dive into more topics on marketing, retention, and career development, all about the apartment industry. I'll see you next week.